Oh my, this weather is simply dreadful. We should get you out of this downpour before you catch cold. Please, come in. There we are. I do apologize for extending an invitation. I had no idea it would be raining this hard. Though I am, of course, very glad to see you, my dear. I couldn't help but notice from the tone of your letter that you seem to be out of sorts. Am I incorrect? No? So you have been feeling out of sorts? Now, my dear, reaching out to those who care about you when you feel burdened by life is not a trouble at all. In fact, it's very much encouraged. I may not be a professor of psychology, but I do have a fondness for tea. And when a tea kettle is full of bubbling water that keeps growing hotter and hotter, that pressure needs to go somewhere. So the kettle starts to whistle, reaching out to those eager for a drink to say, I'm ready to share. That's part of the reason why they invented the spout. The other part, of course, being the way with which to pour the tea out. So, my dear, I have a thirst that needs quenching, and you are a kettle who's just started singing. Won't you please come have a seat and spill the tea? Is that not how the expression goes? You have a strange look on your face. All right. I won't ask. But do please, have a seat, and tell me what's been on your mind. You can't go wrong with a nice jasmine tea on a gloomy day such as this. Quite refreshing. Helps brighten up the atmosphere a bit, I always say. Would you care for a biscuit? Perhaps a sandwich? I am regrettably not a very good cook, but I'm sure I could whip up something if you're feeling peckish. No? As you wish. You don't need to tell me anything you don't wish to, of course. I am simply here to listen. If you're not ready to talk about it yet, then perhaps we could take your mind off it for a bit. How about some puzzles? I have a few that I've been saving just for you. Well, my dear, I suppose you have me there. My solution to problems is usually a puzzle. But in my defense, they do seem to be a perfectly good remedy on most occasions. How about you try your hand at this one? Are you ready? Very well. What is an English word that has 3 consecutive double letters? Take your time, think it over. You'd like a hint? If it were anyone else, I would charge them a hint coin. But for you, I'll waive the fee. Here's your first hint. Try to think of some common English words that have double letters in them. That might get you on the right track. Unhelpful? I would argue that's a very helpful hint. Very well. I'll give you a second hint. The word I'm thinking of is a compound word. Does that help? A little. Try to think over what I've told you. Do you have any ideas? You want a third hint? I know. I did say in the previous hint that it is a compound word, yes? So two smaller words that make up a bigger word. The last letter of the first word in this compound word is the same letter as the first letter in the second word. How's that for a third hint? Terrible. That's a bit harsh, I think. But you're entitled to your opinion. Any guesses so far? You would like a super hint? I mean, that's practically giving it away at this point, but if you so require it. The first word in the compound word is book. And given the previous hints, you know that the second word in the compound word begins with a K, because book ends with a K. Now do you have an idea? Oh my. No, I'm afraid that's incorrect. The answer is bookkeeper. You see? 3 consecutive double letters. BOOKKEEPER. The answer seems simple now, doesn't it? Such is the way with a good puzzle. Now then, my dear, why don't we get to the heart of the matter? I can see it in your eyes. Something is troubling you. You do not have to tell me if you don't wish to. But please know that I am always here for you. I only have your best interest in my heart. I see. So you feel as if you haven't been doing enough. That you haven't been productive enough? That is a puzzle that all of us face, I fear. But perhaps I can provide you with a hint or two, just like before. Hopefully these will be a bit more useful. My dear, you must understand that having expectations for oneself can be a very good thing. But you also must ask yourself if those expectations were ones you created, or if they were placed upon you by someone else. Pushing yourself too hard for your own sake can usually be remedied with some time to relax and perhaps a spot of tea. But working yourself to the point of exhaustion for the sake of meeting others' expectations, now that's a very different scenario. You will never please everyone around you, and it is not your job to do so. The only person to whom you owe anything is yourself. If you feel that you aren't doing enough, I must ask you, who is it that you're trying to please? Oh, come now, my dear. There. No need to fret. Let us reprioritize, hmm? I'd like you to think of one thing you like to do. Something that gives you joy. That isn't conventionally useful or productive. Perhaps doing a jigsaw puzzle, or watching your favorite television show, reading a book, or going for a walk outside. And perhaps even something as simple as making time for a short rest in the afternoon. Tell me, my dear, with no expectations, what is something that you enjoy doing? Yes, I think it might be of benefit for you to spend a bit of time on that soon. Hmm? Very good. And if you're ever struggling again, please don't hesitate to reach out. To myself, to your friends or loved ones. Whoever it is that helps you feel at ease. Well then, it looks like the rain isn't letting up anytime soon. You could use another cup of tea, and I have many more puzzles prepared for you. You're welcome to stay as long as you like.